It may seem a long way from Fort Baxter in Kansas to the semi-rural pastures of Richmond Green in Surrey, but that's the journey Phil Silvers has made. And how's he doing these days, you may be asking yourself? To which the answer might very well be, not bad at all, thank you very much. He and the ladies are starring in a revival of the hit American musical, A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum.
Don't you have any immigration laws here?
No.
It's starting a 12 weeks national tour and opened at the Richmond Theatre tonight. Phil Silvers plays the role of a slave who is master in his master's household. A sort of Roman Sergeant Bilko, really. Does he feel he'll ever break away from his Sergeant Bilko image?
The British audiences don't know that I've done 5 hit Broadway shows. But the impact of Bilko, which I'm very grateful for, I've said this many times, and it's true, Chris, I'm an incurable Anglophile. I really am. I love everything British.
It looks as though the lack of heating has affected your voice a bit, doesn't it?
It has. Have you ever been in Billingham?
I have, yes. It's very cold
Why?
out there.
That's not a date. That's a sentence.
You said just now that you were an Anglophile. The story goes that when you came over here some years ago and you saw that Bilko was a great success on British television, when you went back to the States to film some more Bilkos, you put in some special bits for the British audience.
That's true. And I'd put in lines that meant nothing. The director thought I was crazy. Or when I'd leave a scene, I'd say TTFN, which Americans didn't know what that meant. They thought I blew my stack for a minute. And then all the boys would do something wrong. I say, you blotted your copybook.
You're a cricket fan, I understand.
That's right. And, a lot of Americans would think it's a dull game, but I sat with the man who explained it to me. And in a half hour, I understood it. I sat in the Long Taverner section. He's an official at BBC, Ronnie Waldman, maybe you know him. Anyway, the announcer who was announcing then came down to join us. The camera had moved over to Ascot for the races. And he had a chip on his shoulder a mile long, and he whispered to me, what do you think about dull match? And I said, the only thing dull is you. And he recoiled. I said, is this an important match? He said, the most important of the year. I said, let me do it for you the way an American announcer would do it. So he said, would you? And he called the cameras back, and I went up into this open booth. He introduced me, and I said, Christian Ravindra is up. He's had 40. Good God! There goes his sixer! And all the old Lord Taverners looked back in fury at me. But then they saw it was Bilko. They said, well, he's crazy anyway. Next day in London, I was a hero. The cabbie said, jolly good, we love the cricket. You know.
Another aspect of your career, which I hadn't realized, is that you're a very successful songwriter, because you wrote the words, didn't you? Did you not? For
Yes.
Nancy, the great Frank Sinatra hit.
Yes. Well, you see, the majority of my friends, strangely enough, are songwriters. And I can write lyrics. I think I can. I write one every night and then forget it. And the way Nancy came about, it was a birthday party for Nancy, now quite a young lady and married. She was about 5 or 6 then. And I'm a very big drinker. I had 2 drinks, I'm the happiest Jew in the world, you know. I think I'm handsome. I think I'm Cary Grant, you know. And Jimmy Van Heusen, the great composer, he was noodling at the piano. And I, with my bravado, said, Jimmy, give me a tune. I'll knock your partner out of the box, you know. And literally in 10 minutes, the song was written. The song wrote itself. And Frank said, that's a better song than you think.
Yeah, when I saw you here on the stage with the girls, you looked a fairly sort of docile, quiet sort of man.
Well, most comedians are. We are morose people because living under the sword of comedy is no laughing matter.
Well, how do you set about sort of pushing yourself forward, making sure you get what you want?
Well, I sit in the room, like, you know, an opening night, I'll stare in the mirror, and I'll look at my face, which makes me ill, and then I'll say, hey-ya, hey-ya, hey-ya! And that gets me out of myself.